NBA Finals, Game 3. We're heading to South Florida. We'll touch base on that. Before we do, let's remind you, bookmaker.eu. It's free and easy to open up an account because you can check your smartphone anytime, anywhere for the current updated odds. Brian Blessing with Monte Skates. Series tied at 1. Oklahoma City now at Miami, where the Heat are 3.5-point favorites, total 194.5 at Bookmaker. When we just start with the number itself, we thought Miami earlier in the week, maybe a 2.5-point favorite, but they win the last game, so you can see the shade up. Yeah. But the total's a little confounding. Game 2 falls 196, and Game 1, other than a 5-minute window where it shut down, flew over.
Yeah, surprising that it's as low as it is, 94. I thought maybe 95.5 is probably where that should be, but we'll see. Heading back to South Beach, I know Miami played great defense on them first quarter of that game. They started on an 18-2 run, which slowed the scoring a little bit in Game 2. But Game 3, I don't think Oklahoma City is going to come out and score 2 points in the first 6 minutes.
And basically the series price now, it's a pick. And it's funny, we talked about it prior to Game 2. Miami is such a polarizing team, Monte. We went through this with the Indiana series. We went through it with the Boston series. All they were trying to do was get a split out of Oklahoma City, and the series price goes up to 240. That cat's out of the bag now. I mean, This has all the makings of a 6-7 game series.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking 7. I've thought 7 from the beginning of this series. Both of these teams, are ready to play, and they are playing like it matters. This has been a great series. It's going to be that same way throughout, back and forth nature.
We could talk about James, he needs help, but he's been amazing. Hits a big bucket off the glass late in the game to help secure the win when they were treating the basketball like it was a grenade. But I think when push comes to shove, you're getting contributions from Battier from long range. But Bosch has been a monster on the boards.
Oh, my goodness. His contribution in Game 2 was unbelievable. Spoelstra finally put him back into the starting lineup where he belongs, where he'd been all season. I don't know why. I mean, I understood coming into the in that Boston series there because he was just getting back. But starting here in Oklahoma City, I felt like he should have been in the lineup Game 1. But he did get him back in there, and he was awesome. You're right. He killed it on the boards for him. A lot of offensive rebounds. He was huge.
And then again, the other side of the coin, no reason to overreact the fact that Oklahoma City loses a basketball game. This is a young, fearless team. They showed it against the Spurs. The one thing, it's a one-game sample, but we've seen it before. I think Westbrook has to sometimes just take a deep breath and kind of slow it down. He's lightning in a bottle, but his emotions, he gets a little frisky. You can see what he's thinking. I think it hurts him at times, but he's got to be a little more diligent with the basketball.
Yeah, he plays with a chip on his shoulder and his emotions on his sleeves, absolutely. You look at his numbers, you see 27, 8, and 7. You say, hey, well, this guy was playing outstanding. He only had 2 turnovers, but when you watch the game, you see at points he's pushing the pace. He's a little bit erratic. He comes down. He doesn't set up the offense. He dominates the basketball and then goes and takes his shot. That's not how this team needs to play. They need to set it up and get it to Durant. He should not be taking more shots than Kevin Durant in games.
That is a great piece of information, and really, when you talk about how stats can be misleading, his box score line looks great.
Yeah.
But if he's taking poor shots, or if he's dribbling too much and they get into their offense too late in the shot clock, he's forcing other guys to take poor shots.
Exactly.
That's just as bad as a turnover.
Absolutely, just as bad as a turnover. Even though he only had 2, you could say he may have had 5 to 10 based on that.
Great information from Monte Skates. The NBA Finals, Game 3, again at Bookmaker. The Heat are 3.5-point favorites. Totals 194.5. Series is tied at 1. 3 games in a row. Don't forget, it's the 2-3-2 format. Starting off now in Miami.